Hello, I'm Mike Mulvihill. As part of the Father Michael Judge Victim 0001 documentary on his Leitrim roots and on the Memorial Peace Garden located just outside Kesh Village in County Leitrim, I spoke to a number of local people who were involved in the development of that Peace Garden, including Francie Gilmartin. So sit back and enjoy another episode of Unscripted. Francie Gilmartin, Letterfine, Keshcarrigan, what can you tell us about Father Michael Judge?
Father Michael Judge was born on May the 11th, 1933. His twin sister Dimna was born 2 days later. And he was christened Robert Emmett Judge, but when he joined the Franciscans, they changed his name to Mychal. And it's spelled different. It's spelled Mychal. He spent his life, even when he was a young child or young gossoon, he walked a long journey to serve Mass every morning, walk back and then walk to school. But he had his ambition all the time to be a Franciscan. He did that. He worked with the people with AIDS, the underprivileged, the homeless. He really spent his life helping people, and he felt that he was really at home when he was working with the firefighters. He has his memorial above Keshcarrigan, across from his on his land, across from where his ancestors came from. But the thing about it is that the seat that was erected there, a lot of people sits there and they find a great peace when they sit and say a prayer to Mychal. Father Mychal has his own prayer, and it's, Lord, take me where you want me to go, let me meet who you want me to meet, tell me what you want me to say, and then keep me out of your way. He was a lovely man, he loved Leitrim, and he died. He spent his life helping people, and he died helping people. But I don't think we could when we think of Father Michael Judge, we think of Leitrim. But there's Joanne Cregan, whose family was from Drumahare. There's Christopher M. Duffy, whose family was from Carrigallen. There's John F. Hefferman, whose family was from Clune, worked with the fire service. Michael J. Lyons, whose family was from Ahafas, worked with the fire service. Dennis P. McHugh, whose family was from Ahafas, also worked with the fire service. Joseph Spur's family from Carrigallen, who worked with the fire service. And then you have Fardell P. and Sean P. Lynch, whose family came from Kilclar. They all was people from Leitrim that died. And we had a nice memorial where our Chief Fire Officer, Finney and Joyce, arranged that the firefighters from Carrigan-Shannon or from Leitrim came out, and we had a lovely service. And when the special years comes, hopefully we'll do more of that.
And the prayer that you mentioned, Francie, that's inscribed on the memorial seat in the Peace Garden.
It is, and a lot of people have said that when they come and sit and just say that prayer, that they find a peace. And I myself think that Father Michael Judge, I know he's dead, but I feel that he's still around where his family, where his ancestors came from. And I think that he was, if you could hear him, I'd say he'd be thanking the people of Keshcarrigan for doing what we did for him.
And another thing, when you talk about Father Michael Judge loving Leitrim and the area, Keshcarrigan, it's symbolic when we think about the flag that draped his coffin that day during his funeral and how it ended up in Keshcarrigan.
His sister said that she felt that the place to leave that flag, that where her brother had want that flag, was in Keshcarrigan. And we have the honour, the Keshcarrigan Development Association has the honour of having that flag. Wrapped as the firefighters wrapped it, and they wrap it in a special way. And it's lovely to have that because it's really part of Mychal.
And how did you come about to be involved with the committee that, I suppose, put together the Peace Garden, the plans for that? How did that all come about?
That all came about with Keshcarrigan Development Association and John Keeney approaching us and saying that he'd like to do something. And John gave us the piece of ground, and he was a great help in helping us to get this together. and Smiths and Ballamore done a lovely seat. It all seemed to come from once we talked about it, it's something that seemed to come together easier than a lot of things that we tried in Kesh.
And it's something that's there, and one thing that people will notice who travel to it is the American flag.
The American flag is part of Mychal's life, but it's still, when you see the Irish flag beside it, he felt as much Irish as he did American. But it's nice that we have the American flag with the Irish flag representing America, where Father Mychal done a lot of great work, and it was nice to see a man with Leitrim ancestors working so hard and helping so many hundreds and thousands of people in America.
And then when we think about Father Mychal Judge, at the moment there's calls for him to be a saint.
I think that when enough of people sits on that seat and prays to Father Mychal, I think that there will be definitely, I feel myself, that there will be some miracle that Father Mychal will become a saint. Father Mychal was a walking saint, and it didn't change. He's dead now, but he was a saint while he was alive, so it's not going to make, if we know he's a saint, they can canonise him or do whatever they do, but I feel myself that Father Mychal is a saint anyway.
And Francie, lots of people will recognise you listening to this today as a former councillor, and you would also have to think about Father Mychal's funeral and the eulogy which was given that day by Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, that showed that it showed the esteem that Father Mychal was gotten in America, when you had someone like Hillary Clinton taking part in his funeral.
Francie Gilmartin there, talking to me about the Memorial Peace Garden located just outside Kesh Village in County Leitrim in memory of Father Mychal Judge. And interesting to hear Francie's views on Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton there. Indeed, Francie, a man himself who enjoys the politics, and maybe in the future we'll get to talk more to Francie about politics. But that's it from this version of Unscripted. Thank you for listening, and do take a look around our website if you haven't already heard the documentary on Father Mychal Judge and that Memorial Peace Garden, and the, I suppose, stories of when Father Mychal Judge visited Keshcarrigan, who he met, what he took with him as a memento. Listen to the documentary. It's available on this website and indeed on other websites where you may find our content. Until next time, from myself, Mike Mulvihill, goodbye.